We got a request from a woman who had 3 children. The oldest was 13 years old. Her ex-husband had impregnated the 13-year-old 3 years ago. She is now 16, and this woman has not been able to work in any extent for 2 years because she didn't have a vehicle. If she got a car, she was already had a job lined up. We were able to get her a car. She had a situation that is almost untenable to think about. Obviously, she is divorced from her ex-husband, but now she has a car, is able to transport her other children who had a lot of outside activities and doctor's offices, visits, and so on. And she is now able to do that, and she was extremely appreciative. This is the kind of thing we do.
The last project that I worked on was with an elderly lady who had just lost her husband, lost a son just this past year, just living off Social Security, so not a lot of income. And she had some issues with her house. She couldn't even stand in front of her sink to wash her dishes because the floor was falling in. Couldn't walk out the back door because steps had collapsed and she needed some steps. And she was also going through cancer treatment. She has cancer and has been going through cancer treatment. So we came in to help out to make her life better by fixing her floor and fixing some steps so she could get out. And also while we were in there, an interesting thing that she never really even brought up, but we noticed that the refrigerator was leaking and wasn't keeping her food cold, so we were able to help her out too by finding her a refrigerator. So now she has a refrigerator to keep her food fresh and frozen this time. So we can really change lives, and that's what we're trying to do with Neighbors Helping Neighbors. I was asked, why I volunteer. I volunteer not with just Neighbors Helping Neighbors, but other organizations. And as I was growing up through my life, most of my time was spent with my family and also with work. So when I finally retired, I, still spend time with my family, but I don't have work, so I had that extra time. And I remember a quote a long time ago. I think it was Audrey Hepburn said, "As you grow older, you have 2 hands. You have one hand to help yourself, and then one hand to help other folks." And I truly believe in that, and I try to run my life by that. So I think it's important that you do help yourself, and I think it's also important that you go out and help the community. There's so many people in need, especially in our area, and we can really change lives. And that's what we're trying to do with Neighbors Helping Neighbors, is give a hand up to help their life and make their life better.
So I went to the house, which belonged to a very nice family. It had been in their family for a couple of generations. This entire family was living on very limited income. The grandmother had a part-time job, and the rest of the kids did what they could. But the house had a roof that had been in disrepair for so long it had impacted the rest of the house. The interior ceilings were drooping, the floors were in bad shape. We had kids and grandkids living in the house. They had nowhere else to go. They didn't want to go anywhere else, but it was important for them to stay in that location. They didn't have the means to properly repair the property themselves, so our involvement allowed the job to be done correctly. So we were able to come in and make the necessary repairs so that it became a much nicer, safer environment for them. When I saw the repairs, I was just very, very pleased to see that we had been able to help, and the family was just ecstatic. They had no idea that they could get this type of aid, and it just made such a difference in their lives.
I was previously involved with Atlas Ministry, where I became very aware that over 7,500 people live in poverty in Greene and Putnam counties. And as I looked around for areas to be involved with, I heard about Men of Lake Oconee. And I was particularly attracted to it for 4 reasons. First, I have great respect for the founding members. Secondly, they provide a hand up, not a handout, for low-income families, single working mothers raising children, and the disabled. Third, they're focused on our community right here in Greene and Putnam counties. And fourth, they're all volunteers. 100% of the donations that are provided by you go directly to support the families we're serving. Last year, Men of Lake Oconee changed the name to Neighbors Helping Neighbors. This organization serves so many people in this community that are in need. You can't imagine how many families are living in very, very untenable conditions. And for us to be able to go into a home where the family has given up hope for anybody to come in and help them in any way, and learn that we can come in and repair the problems they've got with their home, or provide a bed for their kids, or provide a car when they don't have any transportation, is incredible for them. So I'm just thrilled with the opportunity to serve this organization and serve the families in our community, and I want to encourage you all to do the same thing.
Recently I went up to Greensboro and met with a lady. Her name was Brenda. And Miss Brenda and I chatted, and I asked her what was going on, and she said, my roof is leaking, but also there's water coming in the drywall, in the ceiling, and the ceilings are falling in. And Brenda, by the way, she and her son live together, and she's totally lives on Social Security. And her son's disabled, and he gets some sort of disability payment, but not much at all. So they're really struggling. At the end of the month, there's nothing to be able to use for any repairs. Came back to our management group, and they approved her project. I went back to Brenda. Along with that, I brought a pie from Publix. And I said, I want you to see this pie and hold it. I put the candle in, I lit it. I said, I want you to make a wish. I said, would you mind, Brenda, telling me what you wish for? She said, a new roof. She's Terry. I said, we are giving you a new roof and fixing your ceiling. And she just collapsed her face in her hands and was just so thankful. So thanks to all the people that support Neighbors Helping Neighbors, because those kind of stories we do every day. So Neighbors Helping Neighbors, we did it again.